Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. Today we're going to be doing a decode on the recent Elon Musk tweets in regard to Tesla accepting Bitcoin. So before we get started, if you're new here, what we do is technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, Numerology, Astrology, and we attempt to decode these markets and use the numbers that we get to determine dates and price action before they happen. So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so if you like this content. And if you're interested in furthering your education in TA and decoding, you could contact me in the description box. And I have a mastermind that's on sale for the next couple days. And also at 2,000 subscribers, I'll be doing a giveaway of the mastermind sometime in the first or second week of April. And let's just get straight into this decode. So I'm going to reference the last time that Elon Musk did something in regards to Bitcoin. And it was when he changed his Twitter bio. Okay. And this is all going to come together and it's going to be a really interesting presentation. And we're also going to do a little bit of TA at the end. I know I've been doing a lot of videos on XRP and Ripple lately, but I will be kind of mixing things up a little bit more now that we've seen the confirmed breakout in XRP. So this day right here, January 29th, was when Elon Musk changed his Twitter bio to Bitcoin and the price pumped. And actually, by the end of the day, it ended up being a pretty awful day because the price pulled back from the top of that wick all the way about almost 12%. So it was just a fake out, right? And let's kind of code all of this and see what's going on. So first of all, the 102 is really interesting because we've been discussing the 201 and the 201, like event 201, and a lot of the 201s that we're seeing using the Gematria code, such as the current Pope's name being 201. And we were using the 21 quite often and the 12. And all these number sequences are showing up time and time again. But here's something really interesting with the 102. So here's Elon Musk's Twitter. And today he made 3 separate tweets all at 3 a.m. in Eastern time. Okay? And that's important to understand because that's where the New York Stock Exchange operates, and that's also the time zone of Washington D.C., which is the Trinity with Washington D.C., the Vatican, and the City of London running this entire system. Those of you who are not aware of that, do your own research. So the first tweet being at 309. So with the rules of numerology, we're going to go ahead and type in 39 into the calculator. And then let's go to the second tweet. I don't want to read the tweets. It doesn't really matter. So then we have 310. Numerology would be 31. Just removing the zeros. So bear with me on how this is going to come together. Of course, using the reduction rule, you would bring it down to a smaller number, but then we have 3:02 a.m., so plus 32, and we're ending out with 102, coming back to the 102 followers he had. Now, again, on that date when he made that change, he had 44 million followers, right? And the Bitcoin price on that day was sitting around 33,000. So today he made 3 tweets at 3 a.m., 33, like Master Mason, or the 33rd degree, which is when ice turns back into water. It becomes the unfrozen state, and that is the age that Christ died, etc. So it went from 33, and then the price pumped all the way. Like it was just a very exuberant move. So all these number sequences are really interesting how they all play out. Funny enough, here's the date where the SEC came out with the information that Tesla put a 10% position into Bitcoin. And we found out that the clearing dates are typically 14 days before or so. So this dip that was being bought up right here when it went below 30,000, that was Tesla buying with a bot on a, not on OTC. They had a bot set up where they were buying every like 2 seconds in intervals that eventually turned out to equal 1.5. Pretty sure it was 15 million. I don't remember. But that's sort of irrelevant. The point being is that it's just so interesting how those three tweets with the 33 all add up to 102. And then he had 102 followers. Today he has 104 followers. And the only reason I'm really looking into this as such an interesting thing is because I get about 10 to 15 emails a day in regards to decoding Elon Musk's Twitter in terms of taking his statements. And what I want to let you guys know is like you can go ahead and do that for entertainment, but what's more interesting is how the dates add up. The dates and the times are way more interesting. The words he's saying are also critical, but I'm more focused on the dates and times because that's going to give you a somewhat of a crystal ball into how this works moving forward. Okay? So these tweets are all in regards to Bitcoin, obviously, about paying for Bitcoin. Now let's get into the number 54. So before this tweet came out, the Bitcoin price was sitting around $54,000 right here. It was sitting at 54 around 1 a.m. And then once 2 a.m. hit, it started pumping and basically it made its top around 57,200. Another thing that's really interesting is before this all happened, not only was Bitcoin 54,000, but XRP was 54 cents at the exact same time. Okay? So it shows you that this is sort of the yin and yang. This is like a big picture concept, and it's going to keep working like this for the rest of time. And it's the reason why these are my two biggest investments. So that last tweet pumped the price from 54,000 up, right? And the same thing with XRP being 54 cents, right? So the last tweet that this happened, the last thing in regards to Elon Musk and Twitter was on January 29th, which was 54 days ago. Okay, and again, 29 is really important because that's where we get our new world order with the 29. And where do we get the 54? We get it with, we get it with Jesuit order, the 54, and we get it with Catholics, the 54, and then they're tied together with the 153. But what's more important is just the 54s and the connections to 54 with the 54 days in between the two big Elon Musk Twitter events that have made Bitcoin pump when it was coming to a low. So what this is telling me is these cover boys like Elon and a lot of other people that are coming out, they are there to bring the price up because they're buying all these dips before these dips. They have all of their bots set to be buying all these dips at perfect times, and then they come out with news to give us a reason why it's happening. But in reality, the Gematria, the numerology, the astrology, that's what's moving this whole market to specific numbers. And it's really, really undeniable once you start putting this all together. So you have the $54,000 Bitcoin price, the 54 cent XRP, 54 days since Elon Musk changed his Twitter bio to Bitcoin, and then you have a Bitcoin move exactly on this date, 3 tweets, all at 3 a.m. Eastern time, which is the time zone of Washington, D.C., and then you have all 3 times using the rules of numerology adding up to 102. And then, of course, on that date with the 102, he had 44 million followers. Now we've gone into the 54s with Catholics. We've gone over the 54 with the Jesuit order. Another thing that's interesting about Jesuit order is the 144, and we'll come back to that in a little bit. But now let's get even deeper, right? So today's date is March 24th, right? And I've been telling people about the 24 dates and how important they are. And it's actually pretty funny because I made a presentation yesterday in my mastermind going over Jupiter and the Jupiter zodiac symbol being the 24. And of course, it doesn't necessarily look like a 24 until you really start to think deeper, right? So that's a clear 24. And I think this plays a huge role into everything, this 24. So the irony of me making that video yesterday, maybe it's not ironic, maybe it's just once you start allowing this information to be clear to you, it all starts making sense. So the 24 all being tied to X with the 24, which reduces to 666. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 24. We've gone over that. Today's the 24th date, and Elon Musk does everything with the X. He has SpaceX, right? He had X.com before that transition to PayPal. He even named his last kid X. So he's tied to that 24 very, very closely, and it doesn't even surprise me that today, out of all days, something happens with Elon Musk on the 24th day of March. And I made a video a couple videos ago about Allen Iverson, AI, artificial intelligence, and the connection with Elon Musk, and it goes deep into the X. So please go watch that. Now, today being March 24th, the way that date could be calculated would be 3 for March plus 24 for the date plus 20 plus 21, and what we get is 68. And the connection with Elon Musk with the 68 on today's date is Tesla Motors, which is what this is all about. This is all about Tesla. You can now buy a Tesla with Bitcoin. Tesla is using only internal and open source software and operates Bitcoin. Okay, this is about Tesla. And of course, today when you add up the date, you get the 68, and Tesla Motors is 68. Can't make it up. It's gonna get clear to people that this code is crucial to understand. It's not only about technical analysis. This is what matters most. So what else is 68, right? SpaceX and the pure cipher. 68. And there's many other 68 connections, but it's just incredible that these are the two companies that he's currently spearheading as the quote-unquote CEO, and you're getting the 68, while today with the 668 numerology. Really interesting. So using this code, you could sort of see the agenda here, right? You could see how this is all coming together. What is Elon Musk's role in this NWO? It is about implementing this technocratic overtake of humanity by implementing technologies that bring AI into the play to replace the humanity of it all. That's his role. He even talks about how we're in a simulation and how he's warned everyone about the machines taking over. But meanwhile, what is he doing? He's creating the things that purely tie into it all. And what is his next big project that he's been working on, right? Neuralink. Neuralink, which is basically plugging in AI directly into the limbic system. And of course, with Neuralink, you get the 42, which comes back to Jesuit with the 42. But what's more important here is Zionism is what's controlling all of this. Moving into this socialistic regime, which is taking over. You got the 105, 105, and the 42, 42. Nothing is more of a Zionistic concept than Neuralink. Remember, the whole concept of Zionism is to really remove people from their emotional state and from their morality. It is to make them a product or slave of the state, so that when the state says jump, the people say how high. That's what this is all about. And what else is this tied to? Jesuit order with the 144. Okay? That's huge with this because the Jesuit order connecting to socialism. So the socialists with the 144, 144, 72, 72 connection, the socialists, the Zionists are pushing us into a new world order. And of course, this all has a connection back to Bitcoin, and I've been exposing this since the beginning. So when I say that I want to clear up everything, that Bitcoin is the king of all of this, I don't care what you guys think about XRP. Whoever's telling you about XRP and it flippening and all this stuff, don't fall for that. You got to open up your mind. Why is it that when you go to the logarithmic chart on BTC and you check it out over the last 12 years, it's from 1 penny to $60,000 in 12 years? Again, coming back to 12, very crucial. So don't fall for it. Bitcoin is way more important in this system than XRP will ever be. XRP is for the banks, and banks are for you. Banks are not for the elites. The elites use banks to keep humanity enslaved. Okay? So XRP moving in and all this shit that's connected to banks, you gotta wisen up. Again, it's my second biggest holding, so I'm just saying this because I'm being real with people. I'm not hiding anything. But Bitcoin is the head honcho and it's connected to all of this in the highest regard. Socialist 3636. And I could do a full presentation about the 36 another time because that's connected to a lot of things as well. So with this all tying together, the Jupiter logo with the 24, and what made me, add an extra layer onto this was considering the next full moon. The next full moon being March 28th, the worm moon. And when you type in worm, of course you get the 24. Today being the 24th, the Jupiter logo being the 24. So of course, when you type in worm moon, you come back to the 45 and 36, which comes back to Bitcoin 45 and 36. Again, these numbers being very, very critical in how this is all tied together. Worm moon 126, socialists 126. There's no coincidences here. So I'm going to end it there for the decode. I'm just going to quickly breeze over what's going on in Bitcoin because I believe this day right here, January 29th, is going to be just like this day here, which is a fake out, potential come down a little bit more into a bottom, and then it's going to have a blast off very, very soon. So you can disregard this pink trend line. It's just there for the moment, but be considerate that once this downtrending sloping resistance happens, it doesn't mean it's over. What we need to see with Bitcoin from a technical perspective is to break this heart line. Okay, and of course, if we waited out a couple more weeks till the end of the month, breaking the heart line would also be breaking the current all-time high. Finding support above the heart line, you know you're moving up to the top of this channel, like I've gone over time and time again. And again, I'm looking into early April, the second week of April potentially, to see a $72,000 to $74,000 Bitcoin. More than likely a $72,000 Bitcoin for the 72 Gematria. And that's what we're looking for. So we do have a big number coming up soon. It would be 66,600, and you know how these guys like to play. The previous all-time high in 2017, that number was 19,666 on the Bitcoin, on the Bitstamp chart, and it stayed that way for almost 4 full years until the all-time high broke leading into Thanksgiving of this previous year. Again, Thanksgiving, a big blood ritual sacrifice, and of course, they pump up Bitcoin precisely to the numbers they need it to, moving into the month of December, which is the crucifixion, and then you hit the 33,333 on the exact date. You can't make this up. So the same date of the 33,300 was January 2nd, which would be written 21 or 2-1 2021. 2-1 coming back to our good old friends. And it happened on the 12th month, which would be the reverse, leading into, sorry, it happened after the 12th month in the reverse. So this was a transitionary time, moving into the new year, which moved into the age of Aquarius, leaving the age of Pisces. So there's so many astrological connections here. But just to get back to the TA, the reason why I'm so focused on Bitcoin is because Bitcoin is what moves the entire market. So I've had a lot of people ask me, are you only doing videos on Bitcoin and XRP? Well, if you ask that question, then you're not watching the video all the way till the end, because I go over a lot of other cryptos. They're just not as important. Bitcoin is the most important crypto, period, the end. If you don't vibe with that, then you shouldn't be watching this channel. Bitcoin is the head honcho, the mover into proving that this whole system is controlled by the Vatican, by the Jesuits, and by the Zionists. Okay? XRP is going to have its day in the sun moving into 2022. So I had somebody comment with the idea of a $589 XRP, and of course when you add the 5 plus the 8 plus the 9, you get the 22. Don't get butthurt if you have to wait another year to see your gains. Crypto investing and investing in general should be a long time horizon ordeal. It is not put $100 into Cardano and sell it 2 months later, okay? That's not investing. And it should be criminal how these YouTubers are out there telling people that sort of mindset. But with that being said, XRP, again, it's beautiful. This consolidation in the mid 50-cent range. Let's just quickly look at this chart because I've gone over it and I want you guys to see this red trend line here is crucial, okay? It was a down sloping trend line and we keep bouncing on top of it as support. This is going to form a symmetrical triangle, most likely. That's what they always do. It's going to be a really tight triangle and it's going to break out soon. And when it breaks out, it's just going to continue, it's going to continue consolidating in the high 50s until it's ready. So what's going on here right now is this 618 is going to be big resistance. Okay, it's going to have to start closing dailies in this golden pocket. And then once it closes above this 786 around 65 cents, that's when things are going to get interesting. Okay, you could potentially move up to $1 within a day. That's how quick XRP can move. So you just have to be patient, but understand that this bull market for XRP is going to come when Bitcoin's done. When Bitcoin's chilled out at 120 or 200,000 or whatever number it gets to, that's when XRP is going to go blast off. It does it while you're least expecting it. Everything else right now is just having its fun. So Ethereum, it's doing all right. Again, it's really coiling up in this range. What we would need to see though is closures above this 2618 at 2,277. I anticipate that it can get to 2222 most likely by a very ritualistic date. So keep that in mind. That's probably going to be the target where it hits, and Bitcoin's probably also going to hit the 66,600 on the same date that Ethereum hits the 2222. Little secret there because that's how this market operates. Other than that, all the other altcoins are doing all right. It's a Wednesday. The market's really awkward today. Dollars bouncing around, pretty much solid market structure, but oil is taking off. So whenever oil takes off, it's typically pretty good for the market because the dollar is the petrodollar and it's pegged to that world reserve currency, US dollar. Anyways, tons of information in this video. I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys have any questions, if you're interested in joining the mastermind, please feel free to shoot me an email. It'll be on sale for the next week or so. And enjoy the rest of your day in the Matrix. Peace.